Today we are gonna be doing yet another absolutely unscripted and frankly meandering review-ish of a TTRPG, and to finish off the whole Earthdawn Shadowrun cycle, we are going to be talking about the unofficial 8th world, the Equinox.
Yes.
Which we just found out actually has a second book with mechanics, but I haven't read it. So, the game has no mechanic.
Okay, from the beginning. This is a setting book.
Yes.
It's called Equinox. It has been published by Vagrant.
Yeah, the same guys who did the Earthdawn Legends thing.
Yes.
As I found out on the while recording the previous Earthdawn Legends thing, so now I'm a smartass.
It was published by Vagrant Workshops, and yes, there is a book 2, which is actually a book with mechanics. It's called the Match System, and it's supposedly very good for running this game with it.
Yeah, but basically...
But we haven't played it.
I have played it.
But we haven't played the Match System.
Yeah, no, we haven't played the Match System. But yeah, basically the book contains mostly the setting and everything you need to know to meritorically prepare to like run the game, except how to spell meritorically.
Okay, so Equinox has been written as a setting book that can be played together with a bunch of compatible game systems, such as Cortex and D20 Future and Fate and Hero and GURPS and Savage World.
I mean, frankly, anything that has mechanics for guns. And preferably also mechanics for spaceships.
And magic.
And I mean, you can kind of hand wave the magic.
Yes.
But yeah, so basically, what the system is about. So, if you've known Earthdawn, the fourth world, and the post-apocalyptic fantasy, and then the cyberpunk dystopian heist game of Shadowrun.
And if you don't, there are some videos linked in the description.
If you heard that noise, that was our dog. She tries to drag our house away. She's on the yard. So basically, Equinox is a very good attempt at pushing the storyline forward and pushing the meta plot forward into I think few worlds ahead, where magic has been contained by technology into giant bubbles and humanity spread across the universe, and then everybody lived happily ever after, and there was peaceful discussions and reasonable governments everywhere, and the horrors decided that they actually aren't all that interested in invading the material world, and of course not, it was a shit show. So the whole thing collapsed.
And the Earth exploded.
Twice. So yeah, the Earth exploded, and there is like multiple different magical races and species in the new cycle of magic, and Earths and other planets, some have been invaded by horrors, and there are some organizations that try to keep it contained, some who are trying to profit from it, some who are outright helping the enemy, and it's an all-out dystopian space opera where you can basically do the same things as in Shadowrun and in Earthdawn, but in space.
Yes, the general assumption is that you're playing those down on the luck fringe characters that are very much on the edges of society, and you're trying to build some kind of life, usually causing more trouble to everybody around you.
Yeah, but it's more it's more than just Shadowrun in space, so to speak. The game also has big influences from very popular space opera and science fiction franchises, and even, well, mostly science fantasy franchises, because it is science fantasy. So you have stuff like Star Trek, Star Wars influences in there's Babylon 5, but without Zatras. I mean, you have Zatras and Zatras, but there is no Zatras, so the whole setting's ruined, in my opinion. And
but there is a Psycorp.
There is.
Yeah, on the list of influences you'll also find stuff like Firefly and Farscape. Star Trek is strangely not on the list, but Star Wars is. As far as being a continuation for Earthdawn and Shadowrun, it's not really as smooth because it's not designed to be. So while yes, you have like varying levels of magic in different places and in different times, and there's a magical veil that is separating the physical realm from the astral realm, which is again something that you would find understandable and connected to the story when you already played Shadowrun.
It makes little sense off the cuff, but if you're coming from the context of Earthdawn and Shadowrun, then it just feels like going home, but in space. And speaking of that, your spaceships are not destroyed, killing every mage on board, because they have bubbles of magic around them, so you can have a magician on the ship. He's just gonna die in space, which is a special danger that magicians are facing, unlike everybody else, I guess.
But you don't get standard gnomes and dwarves and elves
You do.
in this system?
You do.
No, you have weird races.
No, you have weird. You have weird fantasy stuff, but you can, if you want, play a Shadowrun elf or dwarf or troll. But yes, you can if you want to play an elf or an orc or a troll from like Shadowrun or Earthdawn setting. You can do that. There is an like sidebar that explains to you how it logically fits into the world.
Yes.
But that's if you really want to.
But other than that, the setting comes prepared with a werewolf race, a vaguely reptilian race that doesn't have any ears. That's seeing as most fantasy races are differentiated by the shape of their ears.
Well, probably the reptilian subspecies is making up for that by having double the silicone eyebrows.
In general, there's a bunch of various magical alien races to choose from if you don't want to play humans. Humans are also there. As a general description, somehow decided that they are the most racist race and prejudiced in the whole available universe.
Yeah, it is. There is some interesting choices made during the lore making, and let's leave it at that. But generally, the game avoids the problem of why is all the alien species like that and grammatically correct, and it's because they are technically all humans that have been changed. Well, almost all of them are sort of humans that have been changed by the magical fields of their planets that they live on. So technically, they long time ago all have been humans, which is sort of why the actual, humans in this game are weird about it.
Other than that, you have this setting filled with rather weird places and a bunch of demons and spirits and other antagonists and NPCs to interact with.
It has some connections to Shadowrun metaplots, but no, there are no obvious follow-ups. There are no obvious continuations of any existing plots from Earthdawn or Shadowrun. So, you don't have to know who the Denairastas family are to play the game, or what Lofwyr is, or anything like that. You can just play it, and you don't even have to play the game as a continuation of the Shadowrun Earthdawn story, because it is not officially any of those things. It's just an inspiration for the game, so you can play it as any kind of space opera-ish game, and within the setting, and it has inspirations from other genres as well. So you can even put some Fallout elements in there and things like that. It is not intended strictly as a follow-up to Shadowrun stuff. It's just one of the main inspirations.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've personally found out about this game because we've been playing Deadlands, the old edition. Mm-hmm. I'm old. And we said our GM decided that he's going to take the story 500 years into the future or something, so they just used Equinox to adapt it to the follow-up of the magical Wild West, and it was fun. It made very little connection to what's actually in the book, but the guy did absolutely no customization to make it happen, because the setting has many entry points where you can connect any existing setting that has magic and magical peoples in it, and just make it the future of that. So yeah, it could be your Faerun year 3000 if you want to.
So yes, in short, you have a game that's designed to be this rather highly powered, not superhero level, but more.
Yes.
So in Equinox you have higher powered characters with access to magic, and there's a bunch of demons flying around. Earth is destroyed. The solar system is mostly the grounds where you're going to be running around and doing heists and various other illicit activities.
Yes, solar system is Equinox's Seattle.
Yes.
Basically. Filmed in Toronto. But jokes aside, join our Patreon if you wanna. There is a lot of cool things that we do in there as well, which is slightly more sane. And if you wanna see how the channel is developing, we are going to be preparing some actually scripted stuff soon that is going to be tangentially related to what we've been talking about in those chaotic reviews and other stuff. And also there is going to be some big news coming about Anna's book, her new book, right? Coming like soon.
And my old book.
Yeah.
And my new book.
Ooh.
So if you wanna get some early information about that, you can always join our Patreon.
And newsletter.
And the newsletter. And now you can watch our beautiful list of patrons displayed right to your faces. Like and subscribe.
Stuff.
Bye.
Yeah, we're supposed to have some outtakes, but now I don't have anything funny to think of. Meep, meep, meep. Ah, yeah.
It's okay to have sunlight in your life.
No.
No?
Record some outtakes maybe. Meanwhile, I'll be back in a second. And generally, I have to stop saying generally.
Yes, because then you're gonna have another outtake video if you say generally.
No, I would never. So yeah, now I'm gonna have an outtake video saying, oh yeah, so yeah, well, yeah. Anyway.
Yes, remember to look at the camera.
All hail the Hypnotoad.